Hello, everyone. My name is Feston Rise. I am the chairperson at WEREJE International and the founder for RTSW. RTSW is uh, a refugee TV and online platform which is supporting refugees with publication of storytelling and also the online podcast publication and interviews. So today I am very sorry because at our side there is too much rain. Maybe you cannot be hearing me too much or very well. But it is a pleasure for today to have Mr. Benson WEREJE. It is a co-founder for CIYOTA. So now it is really a pleasure to have him because he is a very VIP person. It is not easy to have him. But I am really sure that we are going to learn more from him as someone who co-founded a refugee organization which has too much achievement and which is still supporting refugees. So, Mr. Benson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and I'm happy to meet you, Mr. Festo. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for now. Now, Mr. Benson, you are co-founder of CIYOTA. So now I can maybe start by letting you introduce yourself, and then after you tell us about CIYOTA. What is CIYOTA? Thank you very much.
Okay, you are welcome, and greetings to everyone and the viewers. Yeah, my name is WEREJE Benson. I come from Democratic Republic of Congo, and I was a refugee in 1997 in Kyangwali refugee settlement. So, like we are going to hear, I am a co-founder of CIYOTA International Youth Organization to Transform Africa. And this is a refugee-centered and refugee-led organization that was started to solve complex problems, especially education opportunities to the refugees and the vulnerable communities in the camps. So I'm also a Tutu Fellow, an Ikoingi Green Fellow, and an Ashoka Fellow. So those are some of the fellowship I've been able to achieve, apart from working with the CIYOTA. Yeah, I am married with the 4 children, and I'm happy to be making some contribution to the lives of refugees. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for your presentation. So now, Benson, as you can see, as the founder of CIYOTA, how was the problem? What are the problems you are addressing through while you were founding CIYOTA in 2005?
Yeah, thank you, Festo. I will just try to again reconnect with our past and the background, the history, because that's what motivated us to start CIYOTA. Like I said before, I was born in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And all of us, like refugees, like young people, have many stories that connect us. So I am happy to share mine today, and I will be happy to learn from other stories again through this broadcasting. So when I was around 17 years old, over 200 rebels attacked my village, and they killed 80 people. And one of the people who was killed was our neighbor, and it was a woman who was pregnant And these rebels, they came and then they cut a bamboo and then they forced the bamboo from the bottom of the woman up to the top. And after that one, she was put in her house and she was burnt with her two children. So at that night, we buried these people, including one of my friends. And that was my last day to live in my village. Really, the village I love up to now. Then I separated with my parents. I found myself to the next village where my uncle lived. So I stayed there for 2 weeks, and that village is Bunagana. So after 2 weeks again, rebels attacked Bunagana, and 32 people were killed. They were slaughtered, and it was my first time to see like the internal body parts of human beings, like brain and other parts. And I was really very traumatized. And by that time, I became so violent. And by that time, I really wanted even to join the army because I thought like a young person fighting back was one of the solutions to what we were going through. And I thought it would be bring justice to the women who were violated and many innocent people who were killed. And you might be knowing that up to now, over 8 million Congolese have been killed and over 2 million women have been raped. So it's thousands and thousands. Now we are having, I think, over 1 million refugees in Uganda, and over 5 million refugees who are internally displaced in Congo. So it was so tough for me. And then I found myself in the Nyakabande refugee camp for 6 months. Then after Nyakabande, we were taken to Kyangwali refugee settlement. I'm just trying to be brief, but life in Nyakabande was tough because rebels attempted to come and pick us and take us back in the DRC. And of course, hunger killed many people both in Nyakabande and in Kyangwali. So when we reached in Kyangwali, I was in fact one of the refugees who did not find their names within the books of UN. So it means I spent many months without getting food or a plot or a place to sleep. So I used to sleep outside and sometimes in Kinachitaka Primary School classrooms. So life was so tough by then, and I was in the camp without my parents. So I was really surviving on my own, and I was still young, like I said, around now 17 to 18 years old. So many people again died of malaria, and many people died of hunger. But to us, young people, we really needed to go back to school. We had thought that leaving DRC to the camp, we would have a better life, but it was like coming from a frying pan into fire. So as young refugees, we thought that we need to sit and analyze the challenges that we are facing and see how we can come up with the solutions. And at this point, I still want to encourage all the refugees who are going to listen to this story. We have very many problems, many of them. But we really need to come to a conclusion of solving our own problems. So we came together as young people to see how we can solve the problems of lack of education by starting CIYOTA. So the main purpose to start CIYOTA in 2005 was to create access to education opportunities, especially to orphans who were in the refugee camp. Some of them became orphans because they lost their parents in the DRC. Others became orphans because they lost their parents in the refugee camp because of malaria. So we really wanted to see how we can give an opportunity to these children, because even ourselves, it was almost impossible for us to make it to school. So I may not talk about how I made it to school in the refugee camp because it is a long story. So, Mr. Festo, we just started CIYOTA to create access opportunities to education and also to add value in the education system so that many of the refugees can be educated and solve their problems.
Mr. Benson, thank you very much indeed for sharing this very sad story of all of those tough life you have through. And it really touches the hearts of the people who are seeing this video and also including me. It is really a very sad life. Many people out there don't know how really the refugees struggle to live, but this is a really one of example of the experience people so thank you very much for sharing, and we are really sorry for all of the things you have gone through. And for me, I can say I don't really have something to say about that, but we thank God because He protected you from the other day until now, and that was the reason why you are still alive. It is for you to have that time of supporting the other people or making them strong, sharing and support. It is because of that will of God. God has to protect you and prepare you to support a big number of people. So thank you very much indeed. And maybe I would like you to share with us now as you started this CIYOTA after all of those challenges and difficulties. Now, what is your impact in CIYOTA? How much is your support to the people in need these days? Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thank you, Festo. Like I said, personally, I almost died in the refugee camp because of hunger. And one of my biggest life story that makes me do what I do, it's because I used to go to school like 70 kilometers from Kagoma village in the Kyangwali refugee settlement to Chebitaka. And like I could go on a Monday without eating, Tuesday without eating, Wednesday without eating because there was no food. And the little food I had, I would work in the farms. So for me, this food to take me for like one term without dropping out, I decided to eat once in 3 days. So before I share like how far we have gone, I also wanted to share this part because it is one of the reasons that motivated me to really sacrifice and work for refugees. And later I got a chance to play football. And then I was admitted in one of the secondary schools in Hoima. So in 2005, when I was in senior 5, that's when I saw that I am, in fact, I was the only one in senior 5 from Kyangwali by 2005 in terms of youth who took themselves to school, not sponsored by anybody. So by then I said, okay, now this is an opportunity that God has given me. I need to find out other youth who are getting the education, who can go back in the refugee camp with me to organize young people. And then we look for money to support other children in education. So we started by farming, digging for other people. And when they give us money, we start taking 1, 2, 3, 10 children in school. But later, as we continued digging, we started also farming our own crops like beans, like rice, so that we can have more money. And then we decided to start a primary school. So from now, that primary school has grown up. We started building a nursery school, and then we continued to build a primary school. So we started also sending young people to Hoima for secondary school studies. So for now, we have educated over 5,000 refugee children in nursery and primary school. And the youth we have been able to send in secondary school, they also started other primary schools. There are really very many, like 7 of them. Some they are in the refugee camp, and other people went back in DRC and started the schools. So like those 7 schools, it's a huge impact, and they are educating thousands and thousands every year. So apart from the primary school, we also started a secondary school in Kyangwali. So up to now, we have educated over 1,000 youth who have completed the secondary school, and we are still doing it up to now. Then some of those students in the secondary school, they have also gone to university. So we partner with MasterCard Foundation to give scholarship opportunities to refugees. So some of them have gone to the US, others have gone to France, even others are still there studying, others are in Zimbabwe, in Kenya, here in Uganda, in Bugema, in Makerere, and we also sponsor others in the DRC. So we have so far sponsored 84 students in university, and some of them have graduated, they came back, they started enterprises. So there are over 20 social enterprises started by our university students, and they are impacting 84,000 people in their enterprises. So their enterprises are in agribusinesses, in technology, in education, in journalism, in leadership, in many, many areas. So I would say CIYOTA in general, because we have very many projects apart from the primary, the nursery, the secondary, and the university program. We have livelihood programs where we train people in leadership, in entrepreneurship, and active non-violence. So I would say in all CIYOTA programs, we have impacted over 1 million people, both in the refugee camp and back home in the DRC. And you might be knowing, Festo, that COBURWAS Primary School, that is a CIYOTA primary school, is one of the best refugee schools, because we, in terms of academic performance, since we started, we get either first grades and second grades only. It is only 1 year where we got, I think, 1 or 2 pupils in the third grade. So academically, we are extremely strong. And also other services like feeding the children. We feed them breakfast, lunch, and supper. Our accommodation are standard. And we also give them security, because they are always in the fenced schools, and good teachers. And those children who cannot easily make it to school, we provide the transport for them. We have school vans, 1 school van and a school coaster that transport children from various refugee villages to the school. They have like many computers, a good library. Yeah, it's one of the best schools. In fact, sometimes in Hoima, we become number 3, number 4, number 5. Yeah, so we provide access, but also quality education services to the refugees. So that's what I can say about our impact. But it goes beyond that, especially when you bring the stories of these young refugees who have also started organizations and businesses to impact more lives. Yeah, thank you.
Now, thank you very much indeed, but this is beyond expectations, because now doing such great work, supporting more than 1 million people. You know what? For me, I really like the, someone's education, because through education, you are supporting him or her. But tomorrow, when he's successful, or when she's successful, he or she's going to support himself or herself, support him, his or her family, and supporting the community, supporting the other people, and the whole world at large. So, thank you very much indeed for supporting all of these people in that way. I really appreciate that. I don't know how I can say it, but for me, I'm really impressed about this good work, good and great work you are doing. So, thank you very much for your impact. Um, and also achievements. I didn't know that all of this require sacrifices in one way or the other. So you are really doing a great work, and I really appreciate this. And I didn't know that the people are watching this video will also appreciate the work you are doing. So thank you very much indeed. So I would like to ask also only one question. What do you plan to do? It is like the future plan of keep supporting those people who are vulnerable. What are your future plans?
Okay, thank you. First again, yeah, there are many young refugees who are really sacrificing, and we really all need to sacrifice for us to bring change in our community, in our society, in our families. Yeah, it takes so much sacrifice. There are many things that happened. Maybe one of them, some years ago, I was on the list of those who are supposed to go in the US for resettlement, but I said, no, I can't go. Not because I did not want to go there, but because all my life is about supporting refugees. And that's what you are talking about, sacrifice. So I said, I cannot go through, I cannot go for resettlement. It's a sacrifice. There are many other issues like going in dangerous places and not staying with my wife. Man, most of the time I'm not with my wife. Yeah, I've lived a few years with her. So yeah, it's sacrifice, but it's okay to sacrifice to also support others. So yeah, thank you, Festo. Now for the future plans. Yeah, we have many big plans. And before I forget, all those young people, refugees who are really smart in terms of academic performance, but who may not get chances. It is always good to connect with the CIYOTA, because since now we have our own primary, our own secondary, so it is easy for us to support youth from other refugee camps who are academically strong and who really want to achieve their vision. So I just wanted to say that. And now since we have up to secondary, there is what we always talk about transition. Now, many young people finish secondary and they cannot make it to university. And first, you might be knowing that even if we have some refugee primary schools, even if we have some refugee primary schools, we have only like, I was reading one place that it is 80% of those who enroll, but those who are able to go to secondary school is 12%, and those who can go to university, it is 1%. So now our future plan is to make sure that we build a quality and innovative university that is going to support refugees access education at the university level. And we want really to build a very strong one and a unique one, which will be more practical. One of the drives that make me to work in the education sector is also to transform the education curriculum. Most of what we study sometimes is not relevant, is not applicable to the context of our lives. Many things, but the university we want to build, it should respond to the specific problems that we are facing in the community, and people who go through that university should be a role in solving problems. So I hope that time will reach when CIYOTA is able to do our university in 1 year. We have worked for many years to have 84 students at university level, but we want to make it possible through scholarships at our own university in 1 year. And this will be of them, and then to fix challenges or problems in the refugee camps, but also to fix leadership problems. They will be able to do that. Those who want to start enterprises, huge businesses, not small ones, businesses of people, to create a sustainable peace back home, to empower young people to be leadership and solve problems that we are facing in our countries, and then to also create jobs for those who are unemployed. And it's only the university that can enable us to achieve that. So that is the biggest future plan. But we also look forward to see in 5 years, 10 years to come, to see some refugees achieving their PhDs, being doctors. We have some already who are at the master's level, but we want them also to have PhDs. We need doctors who are coming from refugee camps and who can be able to transform also this world. Yeah, we have some already who are working in international organizations, like Joseph is heading some of the MasterCard program in the Great Lakes. We have Bahati, who is working in the US with some international refugee organization to support refugees. Yeah, we need more others to be at the international level and to speak on our behalf, and to speak on behalf of that child who is in a chapter in one of the villages, to speak on behalf of that. Yeah, that's what we are striving now to achieve.
Thank you very much indeed. Education, sometimes, some people know the word which is saying education is a key, even though some people think maybe the rock has been changed, but there is still a hope. There is still a hope, because I know that when you are educated, everything you can be doing, you can put some there. You add some value because you are educated. So thank you very much for your future plans. You know, we used to see that there are no universities for refugees and so on. But thank you very much for all of those plans you are going to have very soon. And because you have also you have already started working on them. Thank you very much indeed for this. I really appreciate the work CIYOTA is doing in Uganda and abroad. You talked about your work in Congo, so that is really a very good thing you are doing. So I can say that may God bless you for all of those things. Uh, Lastly, Mr. Benson, as someone who is experienced in the things of refugee-led organizations, the things of starting from zero, the things of going through hardships, challenges, problems. Now you you have seen some experience, and you know wisdom comes from also experience, because some people says that traveling 1,000 miles is better than reading 1,000 books. So for you, as someone who have seen a lot, now what is an advice to the other people like you, or other people who are struggling out there, for them to have hope, or for them to have some inspiring ideas and motivation to them, so that they can also make some great things as you did it?
Oh, thank you, Festo, for the question. And first, you have said that, yeah, education is the key, but sometimes the padlock or the lock is changed. And that one is right in many contexts, but I will not go much into that. It's just especially when you receive an education that is not applicable to the context of the challenges that you are facing. And also the education that was designed by someone who does not understand the context of the African children and the youth who are getting the education. So as a CIYOTA, one is I am a teacher by profession. So we design the community-centered curriculum to respond to the specific needs that are in the community. And we do that through a program called the Pamoja kwa Maendeleo. Pamoja kwa Maendeleo is a Swahili word that means together for the development. And it has three components. One is leadership, like I was saying. It's to prepare leaders with a strong character, because without leaders with strong values, then we cannot easily develop, because you know the issues of corruption and dishonest and other things. And the second component, like I was saying, is social entrepreneurship, which is for just creating businesses. And each of us has a different passion. You must understand what is your passion, and then you work in relation to your passion. If not, you may do something which you don't like. But when it is your passion, you really have the endurance. You struggle for it because it's a part of you. So in those trainings, we help young people to discover who they are, to discover their passion, to build the character, and to understand what they want to do, and to understand on how to have the disciplines of working with the money. The third component is active nonviolence, which is mainly, since most of refugees go through trauma, how do we de-traumatize ourselves, and how do we go beyond the boundaries of fear and these challenges, the history we have gone through. We use the history to motivate ourselves. Our problem should be a motivation, because you are talking about how do we motivate the young people. So yes, what you talked about, we need to add the value in our education. So number two, starting from zero. Of course, CIYOTA, we started by farming, but number one is young people should sit, agree that we have problems. And once we see that these problems are affecting us, then we make a decision. We make decisions on how we are going to tackle these problems without waiting for other people to solve them. 17 years ago, since 2005, if I would sit in the refugee camp with my fellow other refugees to wait for someone to solve our problems, we could be, like now, like I said, I'm over 40 years old, we could be getting old and old when we are still facing the same problem. But because we started using what we have, we had energy, we had the brain to use, and then we had to use our hands to dig and make money to support other fellow refugees. Now, because we were fixing our problems, other people also came to fix us. So you can start from zero. You can start from what you have. You can start using the talent you have to solve your own problem. So number three, hardship. To me, when I teach entrepreneurship, topic number three says a problem is a project. So sometimes not all problems are problems. Some problems are there just to teach us. I say that sometimes you may fail to go to school, but life educates you. There is what I call the university of life. Most of the potential people in the world, they went through problems. Look at Mandela, spending all those years in prison and going through the struggle. He Africa. Look at like Gandhi, who changed the history of India. This man also went through struggle. Look at those Martin Luther King Jr., but also look at some of the African presidents who were refugees. I think we should now say, now look at the Bible, look at Moses. Moses became a refugee and he became the president of Israel. Look at Joseph. Joseph was sold as a slave and to Egypt, but also he became like the prime minister of Egypt, and Egypt was the superpower. So I think to be refugees, it's a challenge. Yes, nobody who can say we are very happy to be refugees, but we should look at the other side, that being a refugee is a factory, is a factory that prepares us to be strong leaders. And we can also use the environment. Now, at least we have some peace. We can use that time of peace to struggle and solve our problems and achieve our vision and become strong leaders, even at the continent level, back in our countries. So hardship is also there to prepare us. So I would motivate all the refugees to wake up, look at the problems, work together to solve them, start slowly, start small, but with a big vision, and you will be there. And we shall change this world because we have also the experiences we have gone through as refugees. So let's change our mind and let us build our resilience and let us solve the problems we are facing so that we can support many refugees. So first of all, possibly that's what I would say, that if we have made it, it's not because we are wiser than other refugees, no, but it's because we have said, let us wake up and solve our problems. And each day we may fall down, but we raise and continue. And together we can change this world.
Thank you very much indeed for your advice to the world, to the people who are following us. For sure, that is a good advice. So let's those people around there, let them not be kept by the depression, the trauma, the whatever. But know that they are the ones to find the solutions for their problems, because no one else will come to support them or to resolve those problems they are facing. Sometimes people look at people waiting for the some help, some support. You can see that for you, Benson, there are some refugees which you came together that day when you were coming, and they are still at the same level, right? Or maybe they went
Yeah.
back. But for you, together with some people, you stood up and you started doing something, and those things uh, started uh, slowly, and it developed, and now you are very far. So now what you can see here, what this can teach us, it is now we don't have to sit, we have to work, and using the little we have, and it is like using what we have to get what we don't have, to get where I want to reach. So thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you very much indeed for your testimonials, your support, your advice. I think we are now at the end of our program for today, but I really appreciate your support to the refugees. So keep up your good work, and I really appreciate coming back to also to share some other stories to the people, and keep working together with CIYOTA to make sure many people are achieving more. So thank you very much indeed for your time, for your everything, to be here today, Mr. Benson.
Oh, thank you, Festo. Thank you for the opportunity. And I hope you and the other viewers and other young people, we can change our situation and we can support more refugees. Thank you, Festo, for your work.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. I can say that let's give bye to the viewers of today, the followers. So this is the end of our show today. Thank you very much, people, for watching. Uh, Thank you very much for your support, and for following us, for watching all of this. This is about to inspire, yeah, the other people, the other refugees, to other people who are in need, or the other people who are struggling. This is raising awareness of the problems refugees meet in their everyday life, and this is also raising the hope of the refugees. So even though today maybe you are struggling, but don't lose hope. Together you will also succeed as long as you keep working. So have resilience, be patient, and work hard. And we can see that good or better days are coming. So thank you very much for today. I really wish to meet you in our next event, when we will be also talking about the other people. Thank you very much indeed for this time. So I can let Mr. Benson and me as well say goodbye to you. Bye.
Bye, bye.
Thank you very much indeed.